Hey, Cheryl Alger here from Sassy Cheryl's Digis. Today I'm going to be coloring a new image that I just released. It's called Not Pout Santa. This is the finished image, and I'm going to color it for you, so let's get started. Alright, first I'm going to go ahead and color his face. And I'm using a thick handmade paper. We'll just fill in his round cherry nose. His little face. And I am using a felt marker on this. And let's go ahead and color his hat. Santa's got to have a red hat. And for anybody who's watched my previous video, knows that I do this on a Wacom Cintiq. And as you see, I just rotated the paper, which is really cool because it's just like coloring on real paper. Love being able to rotate that. Let's get my marker a little smaller here so I'm in this area. Okay, go back to normal screen. And now let's color the ball on his hat. Give it a vintage color, the light tan. And his berries, which I am going to use a little bit of a pinkish red, orange. Let's go a little more pink. Of course, I'll come in later and do the shading with my Prismacolors. Toward the holly leaves. I'm not so concerned about staying in the lines because I will go back and shade, or I can erase it. Don't go over it. And since I'm going to do his beard, of course white, I'm going to leave that. Color reference here. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do a little shading in this area, this toboggan. And I'll use my Prisma pencil for that. More of a lighter blue. Normally I would use a tan or a gray, but since it's so close to his face, I want to offset that a little bit, and I'm going to use gray in his beard, so we'll leave that alone. And sometimes I blend this, sometimes I don't. It just depends on my mood and how I like the stroke. I like the strokes of the pencil markings. Just very lightly going over that. I'll go over it a little darker once I shade a little deeper. And more of the shadow coming on this side. Then we'll go just a little bit darker and go over top of that, underneath the leaves. Be a tad darker than that. Give it a little depth. And I usually spend about an hour at least, maybe more than that sometimes, on an image. But this is not, for time purposes, it won't be as perfect, I should say. Okay, I'm going to use my pastel on this one to get it started. I'll come in with my Prisma. And go a little bit lighter to show their shininess. ahead and start on the holly leaves. Let's say the light source is coming from this direction, so I have more darkness on this side. I'm not real good about light sources, as I said in the last video, but I do try. I just actually shade where I feel like it needs it. Kind of blows my college education down the drain. I just prefer to draw the way I want instead of the way somebody tells me to. And then I usually go a little lighter on the outside. Just get the shinier look to him. Okay. Move on to his face. Well, actually, let's put a little detail in his hat. That's on a separate layer. And we'll go ahead and start shading his face. And his little nose. And my circles are not that perfect. That is actually the circle feature. Hands don't stay steady enough to do a circle that well, even tracing. And we'll give a little shininess on his nose here. And if you see that eyedropper just like that, I can pick up the color. And if you look here, it will change. Like the red or this color, which is really nice because you can pick up exactly, you're not guessing or trying to remember if you were actually coloring. You wouldn't be guessing as to which pencil you used and messed it up. Just a little bit darker here, around his nose. And put a little white under his eye, give him that little bug-eyed look. Deer in the headlights, as my dad used to call it. Okay, and this I may blend just a little because it's not quite the way I want it. Okay, and we'll give him a little silver for his hair. Not too much, just a little. Okay. Let's work a little bit more on the face here. He's winking at you. He's telling you you better not pout. Heard that too many times when I was a child. Okay. Let's give a little more depth in here with his hat and just a few squiggles to give it more of a fuzzy look. Sometimes if I don't like it, I'll just blend over that, but I think it's okay for now. Okay, I'm going to go into my second layer and put in his cheeks. These usually I blend in, but I don't think this time I will. Okay. I don't know why I do that either, but I just do. Okay, let's go on and move to his hat here and do a little shading. And again, I'm using my colored pencil for this shading. Whoops, wrong layer. So you can see I covered up the little polka dots there that they give away you're on the wrong layer. That's why I put my details on a separate layer so that they stay on top. Okay. Shading just a tad on this side. And then again, I'll go in just a little bit lighter. Okay. And now the on his hat. I'm using a number 2 sharp pencil on this shading part. And again, we'll go lighter on the hat. Okay. And light gray for his beard. Not too much, just enough to give it a little depth. Turn my paper there, sorry about that. Has to be done. So get the right angle. Like I said, that's what's so great. It's actually like coloring on real paper, excuse me. Let's get just a tad lighter on that. And this beard is going to be a little darker underneath, maybe just a little darker. Even a little darker yet. And continue to go over that. Just the lines a little bit. And as I have my finished one underneath, I can kind of get an idea of what I was doing before. Then we'll go back with a little bit lighter still. Okay. Alright, now let's go just a little bit darker. Give this beard just a little bit of dimension. And there you have it. Better Not Pout Santa. Now available at Sassy Shells Digis under Santa and the What's New category. See you next time.